It's the Buckeye Breakdown Podcast here on the Buckeyes Roundtable YouTube channel. Our first show after the end of the 2025 college football season. Anthony Moeglin alongside my partner, Kevin Woidke. Kev, football season has come and it has gone. I saw a video on Twitter yesterday. It was the opening kickoff of the first game in Ireland between Iowa State and Kansas State. And then the final, and then it superimposed it, cut right to Fernando Mendoza taking a knee. Can you believe that this football season has come to an end? That was a fast one, man. That was unbelievable how quickly it went.
Crazy fast. It left a lot to be desired.
Sure.
Obviously, but we beat the team up north. We handled business there, and we gave Indiana the best game they'd seen. So I guess Miami.
Yeah.
But hey, like I said, you got to win on the day you play them, and if you don't, doesn't matter how close you were.
So yeah, it was. So we're 2 days away from 2 days post the Indiana Hoosiers becoming national champions, and there's like so many storylines that we could get into, but we'll keep it fairly trimmed because it obviously isn't the Ohio State Buckeyes. But what were kind of your thoughts going into that one, man? Because Ohio State obviously lost to their only two losses on the year were to the two teams that were in the national championship game. Lost by 3 to Indiana, lost by 10. To Miami, and it had that feeling to me of like, man, a missed opportunity. It kind of felt like the whole time I was watching, I was like, Ohio State should be in this football game, and they're not, and they have only themselves to blame. Was kind of the feeling that I had while I was watching that thing.
Yeah, I would agree. My take is that I'm excited for these COVID years to be done,
dude.
That team was mostly 6-year seniors. I mean, Ohio State had a young team this year, and we had an old team last year. So I'm not saying anything out of control, but this is really the last year of that COVID bump. If you were in college during 2020, you got an extra year of eligibility because of how crazy it got. That's fine. You know what? I kind of agree with that. Give these guys the most amount of chances to prove themselves on board. It was evident. Like, you had a guy who should have been in high school being guarded by a guy who's 24 years old.
Yeah.
Like, that's just different. That's a lot of high caliber football that guy has seen. And they're saying, oh, there's hacking, there's this, there's that. The reality is these guys have just played a lot of high quality football. And I agree. JMU is not some of these guys that came from like the JMUs of the world. It's a different style of football, but you're coached the same way. You're practicing the same way. Yes, the talent doesn't equate, but I mean, they played a lot of games. They saw a lot of good players. And the other thing is they're like all these 3 stars. No one has any idea. I think that's what people lose sight on. These stars are meaningless.
Yeah.
I had 5 and 4 stars that are currently selling McDonald's, maybe, I don't know, that were class of 2015s. And I mean, I'm not talking about teammates of mine. I'm talking about like everywhere, like looking at like the top quarterbacks and I don't know what they're doing. But then you look at 3-star guys like Draymond Jones and Denzel Ward, who have been in the league for 5 years. You look at Terry McLaurin. You look at just people I played with that were 3 stars. Like, yes, there were some great 5 stars. Nick Bosa. There are some great 4 stars. I'm not saying there aren't. What I'm saying is, the stars are meaningless. It's just based on the amount of offers you get, really. And at that point, who cares? I mean, and you know what? No matter how many stars you have, I had 0 stars. I say this all the time. I had 0 stars coming out of college. 0. I played more snaps than I think 7 or 8 guys that were 3 stars and above at Ohio State.
Yeah.
And just the reality of it. It's what you do there. It's not what you did in high school. That sets you up for that.
No doubt. And kind of the point of your that story there is that Indiana team was filled with no star guys, 2-star guys, 3-star guys, just no notable 4- and 5-star players on that Indiana team. And they go and they get it done, man. And I think too, Kev, like to your point, like Malachi Toney reclassified to be not a high school senior, to be a college freshman, and he comes in and he's a great player. And he's being guarded, like you said, by 24-year-olds. Like outside of a 24-year-old, like seeing a lot of football, that's a kid versus a grown man. Like that's a grown ass man, and that is a kid. Like the difference of like talk about like man strength. Like he gets his hands on you, you're done, right? And you know Toney is a kid on the other side, and it's like the one that stood out to me, Kevin, was Carson Beck's comments earlier in the week when he was asked about I don't know if you saw it, but he was asked about going to class, and he's like, "I graduated 2 years ago." Like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing here? Right?
There's
like,
no Scott anymore.
College. And that's the part that really sucks. It's like, man, we've lost the plot totally, completely lost it. And that's the evidence of it.
And Carson Beck is not going to be an NFL quarterback.
Sure.
Like Joe Burrow graduated from Ohio State in 3 years and then still took classes towards his next degree at LSU, which is, I mean, Joe doesn't have to work again a day in his life, but I can almost guarantee you he'll take that degree from Ohio State and that other degree from LSU and put it to good work in the business world after. Like, I don't know. I agree with that. It doesn't make sense to me. And there's another example of the COVID year. Like, he has got an extra year of eligibility. I don't know what he's doing for school because you have to be enrolled in the school to participate in the football program, but who knows what he's doing. It's probably all online classes. But Carson Beck isn't Joe Burrow. What is he going to do? What's his plan B? To lean on his wellness and chocolate sciences courses? No. Like, what are we doing here? I disagree.
What did you get in chocolate science at all?
Oh, I got an A. But 100%. You gotta
no. It's the point remains, man. And we've said it a bunch, and we'll continue to say it as long as it's going to be the reality of college football. Because unfortunately, I don't see it changing, like drastically anytime soon. And Kev, I think you make a good point there. Is like the good players go right. Like the guys at Ohio State, they come in, they play 3 years, they maybe get a fourth year, then they go to the NFL, right? Because they're good enough to go to the NFL. The guys who stick around like aren't NFL players, so they'll hang around for an extra year, that extra fifth year or sixth year, and then there'll be a 6th round draft pick, make a practice squad, which is all fine and good. Like I would trade my position right now to go be a practice squad player. 110%, absolutely sign me up. But it's like, man, you're really like I'm starting to like think about like who is getting like hurt in all of this. And honestly, dude, it's like these high school kids because look at Ohio State. Look at Ohio State's like transfer portal window. They basically ditched all of their freshmen and sophomores and said, screw that. We can't have money there sitting on the bench. We need to go get veteran guys who have been here 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, just because they're older, man. And it's like those kids who end ultimately kind of get the short end of the stick. And it's like, all right, well, if Ohio State don't want me because they want a guy who's in his super senior year, how do you argue it, right? Because it's like it's proven that these guys, this is what takes you to a national championship.
But here's the thing: I don't know how. So Little Mendoza had his spot on a platter, and he left. That doesn't.
Well, no, he didn't because they brought in another quarterback. They brought in Jake Hoover from TCU, and it was basically like,
I didn't know that. Yeah. I was under the assumption he's leaving because they're falling apart. Okay, I didn't know that.
No, he's leaving because again, to that point, it's like they're brought in and they actually talked about that, and we'll kind of get off of this point here. I want to get your thoughts on the game, but like Cignetti talked about that exactly. Like, hey, they're prepping. This team is prepping for a national championship. They're also hosting recruits, right? They're hosting transfer recruits. And like, all right, you bring a quarterback in and a running back and a wide receiver, and it's like your current players are seeing all that. They're seeing these new guys come in, and they have to like compartmentalize and deal with the fact that they're prepping to play whoever, my Oregon and Miami, while they're looking at, are you about to replace me? Like that's a wild world right in and of itself right there.
I agree. It sucks. It doesn't make sense. Yeah. I gave you my outline of how I think college should be.
And we'll dive into it later. We'll do another show later in this offseason because it's going to get tough here. It's going to get tough here. But, Kev, this is a football show. we got to talk a little football and not all recruiting. What did you think of the actual football game? I was certainly shocked by it. I said it on our show. I texted 100 people, anybody who would listen to me, that I thought Indiana was going to boat race. And credit to Miami. Miami kind of hung around and made it a game and had a chance to go and win it. What were your thoughts watching that national championship game?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of went.
Did you watch it? Did you watch it?
I watched enough of it. It kind of went how I thought it would. I didn't think it'd be a blowout because Miami's offensive line is too good to make it a blowout.
Yeah,
I think Fletcher was too good to make it a blowout. I think that, yes, Indiana was a good team this year, but they also had their flaws when they went up against high caliber, mean upfront lines. Like it. One example, and I don't know if it's a really good example, but Penn State is one where if Penn State beats them, or if that kid doesn't catch that touchdown in the end zone, no one's talking about Curt Cignetti like he's this god of a coach. Like they're not going to get the run maybe they will, but like it would have been harder for them to get into the playoff. It would have been who knows if they probably would have made the Big Ten championship. I don't know how the Big Ten standing shook out towards the end, but if that's their one loss, it just Indiana. I said it. I predict them to lose in the second round. I mean, yes, they are a good team, but they're a good team to a point. They are RPO merchants, and they are back shoulder on their offensive side. They love the RPO, and when all else fails, they throw a back shoulder fade. It happened the entire game. And when you make them throw it deep, Miami was pressing them to start the second half, taking away those quick throws, and Mendoza looked rattled. He's like, wait, what do I do now? And then he got sacked, and they got sacked again. And it was like, it didn't – I'm surprised Miami didn't come out with that out the gate because the other thing is they started to attack that corner on Miami – 24, he played the whole game. Why they weren't attacking him the whole game didn't make sense to me. They waited until the better player came back in, and then they started attacking 24, which didn't make sense to me. Why not do that out the gate and then dominate the entire first half? So then when that kid who was tossed for targeting the week before comes back, the hole's too deep to climb out of.
Yeah. No,
that's what didn't make sense to me from Mike Shanahan, which is a wild name to have in football. But that's what didn't make sense to me. Like, yes, they found their fish. Why weren't they going after it the whole game, especially when he was the better corner on the field, for the whole first half?
No, you make a good point there. And it did look for the first time in a long time that Indiana – did get kind of punched in the mouth, right? It was before that. It wasn't. They went on that 3-game stretch where they were kind of just killing teams. And you look back to that Ohio State game. Ohio State kind of gave them everything they wanted, similar to how Miami gave them everything they wanted. The first half was a little bit of a snooze fest, and then the second half it felt like fireworks to me. Big plays. Mendoza's run was incredible. On that fourth down was unbelievable. That's going to be a play that stands in college football lore, similar to Jeremiah Smith's 3rd and 11 last year in the national championship. That one's going to be up there with that. I thought that was pretty cool. And whatever it is, whatever it took, Indiana's national champion, 16-0, a perfect season. A couple close calls for sure, but they get the job done. They moved to 16-0 and are crowned the national champions in 3 straight, Kev. 3 straight from the Big Ten: Michigan, Ohio State, Indiana. The Big Ten reigns supreme. But Kevin, my least favorite thing in the entire world, the thing that I hate the most, a tradition unlike any other, when the clock hits 000 and I look at my phone and I get an alert from ESPN that says, this just in, way too early, top 25 for the next season. And I catch myself looking at it every time. So as the trophy for 2025 is going up, I'm reading the way too early top 25 for next year. This one particularly was ESPN, and it had Ohio State ranked at number 6. Ohio State is anywhere on any platform you look at, on 3, 24/7, whatever you look at, they're somewhere between number 1 in the country and number 6 at the lowest, a couple number 2s. in there. I know what you think about way too early preseason top 25s, but when you see Ohio State ranked at number 6 behind the likes of Indiana, Georgia, Notre Dame, Texas, Oregon, what is your initial thought reaction when you see something like that?
I love it. I'm so sick of being the top team every year.
Yeah.
Oh, they're number 1. They're this. They're that. I'm sick of the rat poison. Like, this team obviously can't handle it. So enough. Like, get it together. I don't care if we don't win another award. I don't care if we don't win another. Like, there's 2 trophies that matter in my eyes, and that's the Big Ten championship and the national championship. After that, I really don't care. Yes, would it be great if we had a Heisman winner? Absolutely. Yay, we get number 9 or number 8, whatever it is. Congratulations. Doesn't matter. Would it be great if Jeremiah won Blitnikoff? Absolutely. Doesn't matter. Yep. Like, would it be great if Caleb Downs won the Thorpe Award this year? Good for him. Doesn't matter. And I would say he would agree. He doesn't. He won the Thorpe. He doesn't care. He won another national championship because it's a team sport. It's not an individual sport. I don't care how many number 1s we get in a preseason ranking. I just don't. Like, I don't think they do either.
Yeah.
When we were there, it didn't matter if we were ranked number 1, number 4, number 16, number 17. Didn't matter. We had a job to go out there and win a football game every Saturday for a chance to play for the one trophy that mattered. The one trophy I never got to hold. The one trophy that any trophy I got to play for, I got to hold. Fiesta Bowl, got to hold. Cotton Bowl, got to hold. Rose Bowl, got to hold. Big Ten championship, got to hold. Never got to hold a national championship.
Yeah,
that's just my luck. That's my draw. I got there a year too late. Maybe if I was smarter and skipped a year in school, I would have been there. But
Malachi Tony, you could took it.
Yeah, I could have reclassified and become a weird walk. What walk on reclassifies? But anyway, So that's kind of my take on it. Yeah. I don't care. It's a bunch of people that don't play football, that don't know football, that make these assessments. I talk about it all the time. How Pro Football Focus is useless. I talk about it all the time, how a lot of these writers, a lot of these people don't play football, never really did. They're just big fans. And you know what? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Yeah. What matters is that you have more points than the other team on the first or third Monday in January. That's what matters. Why it's played on Monday, I don't know. Why
we got to know about that.
We'll get into that later. But it's rough. It doesn't make sense. However, that good. Hats off to on 3, on 7, 36, 42, 87. I don't care. Thanks for the number 1. Go shove it.
Yeah, there you go. Well, it is in ESPN's ranking. Ohio State or Indiana ranks number 1, followed by Texas, followed by Notre Dame, then Georgia, then Oregon, then the Buckeyes. Rounding out the top 10 is Texas Tech right behind them. Miami checks in at number 8. They're going to have a problem at quarterback, as you know, this isn't the Miami show, but they lost their transfer quarterback, which they were expecting. Then Ole Miss is number 9, followed by Texas A&M. They're at number 10. But man, we saw it last year. Ohio State comes into this season ranked number 2 in the country. They play Texas in week 1. They beat Texas. They immediately become the number 1 team in the country. And then, Kev, I think it was something crazy, like, I don't know, like 6 of the top 10 teams in the preseason top 10 didn't make the playoffs or something wild like that, because it's a shot in the dark, right? Nobody knows what's going to happen. And it's just more so for argument's sake, for fun's sake. But yeah, you are on the side of liking it, which I can absolutely appreciate. But Kev, looking at this Buckeyes team that's getting prepped for next season. Last we talked, we were at the kind of the tail end of the transfer portal. There was a couple days left of the portal window that Ohio State still had a chance to make some moves, and I think they did that. Again, they stayed away from the big splash moves, but I think they made some really good moves. And to me, the best move that they made, the very best move they made, was up front with the re-signing of their 3 top offensive linemen. That was an exclamation point, in my opinion, to end the transfer portal window.
Yeah, I agree. So what's interesting about the transfer portal is you just have to be in it by the time the window closes. You don't have to sign anywhere. So looking at the current openings in the transfer portal, I would love to see Jordan Seaton in a Scarlet uniform next year. I really would. I am. I mean, that's just one of the ones I'm thinking. It's just, it's interesting. It's weird. I think that now it's to the point of what's interesting that I learned is if you fill your roster before some of these walk-ons or lower tier guys enter the portal get signed, they're then stranded in the portal. So say you had so you can go out, like say Ohio State has 7 walk-ons in the portal. Mm-hmm. If they find 7 people to fill those 7 spots that are better, doesn't matter. They can be on scholarship or not because there's no scholarship limits anymore, I don't think. So now it's just a numbers game. So that's where it's interesting. And that's the hard part about this portal thing. You're going to see people stranded in it. Like there's some people committing. Like it's incredible to see, but I am more so looking internally, looking at the Buckeyes and look at what we need.
Yeah.
I would love to bring Jordan Seaton into this building, give him some money, get some action there. He's the best tackle on the board. Mm-hmm. He's a 5-star tackle. He was a beast true freshman starter with 2 years ago with Shadur.
Yep.
And then last year, he's got 1 more year of eligibility. He'll be the first tackle taken off the board. I can almost guarantee it in next year's draft. Come get him for a year. Yeah. Because that is what this O-line is missing.
Yeah.
Is someone of his caliber.
No doubt. 6'5", 330-pound tackle transferring from Colorado. And man, he is a mammoth of a human, and would certainly look good in the scarlet and gray up front because, Kev, that's what we need, man. You watched that game last night and the other night, and you just can't help but remember, man, those guys, we got bullied up front. We got bullied up front against Miami. We got bullied up front against Indiana, and it cost you a chance to go play for a national championship. I do think Ohio State was probably the 3rd best team in America this year, but the 2 teams that snuck them beat them up front, and you have to improve on that. And what I do think was a major positive, like I was very, very, very down on Ohio State's transfer portal, the guys they brought in. I really thought they only brought in one guy worth a jersey in Columbus, and that's Earl Little Jr. Like I thought he was a great player, and then everyone else to me was just kind of like, eh. But them bringing back Luke Montgomery, Carson Hinsman, and Austin Saravold, I think is so big because it's another year of development for those guys, which they obviously need, but it also is another year of continuity up front, which you can speak to how important that is when you're trying to go and build the chemistry that you need, because this will be these guys' 3rd year as starters on this offensive line. And I think that cannot go understated how important that is.
Yeah, I agree. I do think, I know you said Earl Little Jr. I think James Smith will be a good addition on the D-line. That kid from Alabama.
Yeah.
I just do. Both Alabama guys. We got
Quay
and James Smith. Maybe the easiest name I could possibly produce on one end, and one that I'll be playing for years to come on the other. And it's I like that because we needed it. Like getting Kenyatta Jackson back, but losing CJ Hicks is hard because he was supposed to be the Caden Curry with Caden Curry out of eligibility, but I believe that's right. But now we got it like this. Yeah. I'm excited for that. But yeah, I think getting back those linemen is huge because we needed those 3. We needed those 3 guys because they were the leaders last year. They need to lead this group. into the future. And they weren't the best. Maybe they seemed like good leaders when I watched them practice. And I don't want to put that on them, but what they need to do this year is, yes, it was their first year leading, but the difference in Jamarco Jones from his first year to his second year as a starter, in Billy Price from his second to third year to fourth year as a starter, to Pat Elflein, you're at a different level because those guys are prepping. They're not prepping for a national championship, which they always are. Those guys are preparing at a professional level now to get ready to win a national championship and then to be at the level they need to be, because I think this will be the last year that we see all three of them.
It's a tangible thing where you can see like the growth. And we talked about at the start of our show, right? Like the different teams in college football are more veteran. And now you bring back guys for their third season as starters. I guess not full season. Luke took over in 2024 for basically the Michigan game and then the playoff run. And so he had that starting experience in 2024. Last year was his first full year. And then he's going to have another full year. And you just hope, one, for a full year of good health from those guys. But it also tells me, Kev, that, hey, they didn't get the draft evaluations that they wanted, and they came back with some unfinished business. They tasted, or they've been to the top of the mountain. They know what it feels like. They know what it takes to get there. They've also fallen short, right? And they've also fallen short last year, and they have that little hunger in them to get back to where they know they can be. But I thought that was really impactful, a really good sign for the Buckeyes that they brought those three guys back along with some of the others here. So, Kev, we're a basketball show in the winter. We're a basketball show in January. We're a basketball show in February. We'll be a basketball show in March. Ohio State had themselves a very, very good week of hoop from both the girls' side and the boys' side. Big wins all around. The men are rolling. The women are knocking teams off left and right. You know everything that happened on the hardwood. Give us the whip around here of what the Buckeyes hoops did this past week.
Buckeye hoops went well. I mean, the men beat. Or I'm sorry, is this? The women. This past week, after the loss to number 3 UCLA by 6, they then on New Year's Eve beat Purdue, then Rutgers, then Illinois, then they just beat number 15 Maryland in Maryland.
Yeah.
Then they walloped Penn State, and then this past Monday by 2 points they beat number 9 TCU. They play Indiana tomorrow, but the women are good. They're number 12 in the country. They're playing, great basketball. It's interesting to say the least.
Yeah.
But I'm impressed. I don't know much about this women's team, and then they're currently They're currently 4th in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Behind Team Up North, UCLA, and Iowa. I think if they beat UCLA, they're probably number 1 in the Big Ten. But because their overall record is, they would have been 17-1. Yep. Mm-hmm. But
absolutely rolling.
They're rolling. And then on the men's side, the men are currently 7th in the Big Ten, so not as good. But they lost that nail biter against Nebraska on the 5th.
Uh-huh.
Then they followed up with a win at Oregon, then a loss at Washington. They beat UCLA on Saturday, and then they beat Minnesota in OT. That was a little sloppy. I watched that game the most yesterday. We won, but it was a win, so I'm never going to talk down on it, but it was a little sloppy overall just watching it. And then Friday's the big game. So Friday we play number 3 Team Up North in Ann Arbor.
Dude, the Big Ten is absolutely loaded. You talk about on the men's side of things, Ohio State being 7th ranked in the conference. Ohio State has a 13-5 record, right? That is a very good record. They have nice wins on that calendar or on that schedule, kind of across the board. But Team Up North is like it or not, whatever you want. That's the ball club, man. That is a very, very good basketball team, and Ohio State's going to have their hands full come Friday. That's an 8 p.m. An 8 o'clock tip-off on Friday night against the team up north. And anytime you go north, you got to come back with a win. And I know that that Ohio State will be chomping at the bit to get that done. But, Kev, we're getting out of here on that. We are working our way through the offseason here as January is – don't look at your calendars now, man. January 30th is or 31st is next week, which is bonkers, right? It's bonkers to think about. So January's coming to a close here, which is pretty crazy. Are you going to be locked in? Give me your I'm putting you on the spot here. Give me your picks for conference championship weekend in the NFL. We got Patriots versus the Broncos on Sunday, along with Seattle and the LA Rams. Who do you like? Who's going to the Super Bowl?
So who I want to go are the Broncos and the Seahawks. But because everything I've wanted to happen hasn't this football season, it will be the Patriots and it will be the Rams. And who cares at that point yet again? However, what I would love to see is a Broncos-Seahawks rematch from when it was
Peyton Manning, right?
Peyton Manning was the last time these two teams played in the Super Bowl. Last time either of these two teams played in the Super Bowl. And, you had that Legion of Boom era, which was kind of my childhood. Great, like 10 to 20. I'm excited. I want both. I want Sam Darnold to beat the Rams. I want Jarrett Stidham to beat the Patriots. But I know how my football postseason have gone to this point. I wanted the Bills. The Seahawks are the one that's won a game that I wanted. I wanted the Bills. I wanted the Bears. But here we are. So what are you going to do? If you want to know who I want is the Seahawks and the Broncos. Who we will get, though, almost guaranteed, is the Rams Patriots because I'm just wrong all year.
There's the Kevin parlay right there. Rams, Patriots, and you'll be rich. Whatever happens, there will be a Buckeye represented in the Super Bowl. If it is the LA Rams, Ty Hamilton's playing on that defensive line. It's Seattle. You obviously got Jackson Smith and Jigba along with a couple others. But JSN is obviously the headliner there. And on the other side, the Patriots, it's Travion Henderson. And for the for the Broncos, Jonathan Cooper.
And Thayer Munford. Thayer Munford also on the Patriots.
Oh, yeah, Thayer Munford. He got hurt last week, but Thayer Munford, good call on the Pats. But the Buckeyes will be represented in the big one here in a couple weeks, and we'll obviously have coverage all throughout. Right, we'll be lining up our shows as we can get them out throughout these weeks here. But with football season kind of winding down, we're winding down some of our shows here. But doesn't mean the content stops. Over Kevin's left shoulder is a QR code to our site. If you've made it this far in the show, really appreciate you hanging out with us and spending some time here. If you just really appreciate you being on our channel. So make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube. Make sure you're getting over to Buckeye Roundtable, checking us out. Follow Kevin, follow myself. Lots of fun content coming over on our site. So make sure you're locked and loaded as we keep the coverage coming all off season long. For my partner Kevin Woidke, I'm Anthony Moeglin. We'll see you again soon here on the Buckeye Breakdown YouTube channel on Buckeyes Roundtable.